Welcome back to Baseline Car Channel. In today's episode, after so many days of restoration and hours of effort and work and sweat and blood and whatever went into this thing, we're finally able to, or we're finally gonna attempt to start this thing. I can't even speak right now. That's how excited I am. So let's not talk too much. Let's just get right into it. Let's just get right into starting this thing. Let's go. Alright guys, so we're about to start this thing. Let's see if it comes to life. Alright Tim, let's go. Woo! Oh, wait a minute. Wrong Mustang. Timmy, wrong Mustang. That's a wrong Mustang. Shut this thing off. Shut this thing off. We got a wrong Mustang. We need this Mustang to work. Yeah, sorry guys. We mixed the Mustangs up. They both have 302 intakes. So yeah, we're actually gonna attempt to start this Mustang, not that Mustang. So let me walk you guys what we have done, where we at right now, update you guys really quickly, and we'll try to start this thing and hopefully it doesn't blow up or catch on fire. If anything, we should have a fire extinguisher. Oh shoot, we don't even have fire extinguisher. So yeah, that's kind of sucks. We're gonna have to get one of those because we don't want to blow up things on the first attempt. So let me find the extinguisher first, and then I'll walk you guys and update you guys what's going on here. Got my fire extinguisher nearby so I could, start this thing and don't blow up things. But here's where I'm at. So I took the car to the dealer and I got the computer's ECM and body control module that's inside the car. I got them both to sync. That's called parameter reset. That was the last step that I had to do in order for the whole system to power up and work properly. And I had to do that through like various dealers because none of them wanted to do it with the car looking like this, sitting on the trailer. They just like, oh, we don't touch this. This is modified vehicle and whatnot. So this is what I had to do. After I got this done, I got my ignition on. I was able to turn on my ignition and I was able to turn the engine with the starter with the button. So that was the first step that I needed to complete before I could attempt to start this thing. After that, what I did, I installed all the coils and old spark plugs. Yes, I did not put the new spark plugs because I might have some oil inside. The cylinders might not be clean. I don't want to foul new spark plugs. I kind of secured everything around here. Just check all the fuel lines, make sure none of them are leaking, and hopefully I don't have any leaks because that's gonna be bad. So I kind of just checked everything slightly, installed these coils, ignition coils, spark plugs. I didn't even bolt them on, just kind of pop them in, make sure everything is secured. I also did evac. I ran evac and purge valve system, make sure everything is connected right here, make sure all these lines, the breather tubes and all that stuff is kind of connected. These are the main breather tubes, but I'm talking about the vacuum lines and all that is kind of secured so I don't have any vacuum leaks. This one's kind of capped off, this one as well, so intake's not going to suck any extra air that it doesn't need to. So I think we should be good. We have spark, we have fuel. We don't have it yet. I'm gonna connect in a second, but I tested and it was around 60 psi. So we have fuel, we have spark. I don't see why this thing shouldn't start. If the battery is good enough, it should start today. So let's give it a try and see what's gonna happen. All right, Timmy. So what you get? All right, guys. So Timmy got the jump box connected. Got the battery. Battery should be charged. So hopefully that's gonna, not gonna be our issue. I got fire extinguisher right there. We should be good. Well, dang. Would you look at it? I mean, would you look at it? Dang. Dang, this thing sounds rowdy. It sounds pretty good for a first time. I was expecting a lot worse of a idle and stuff. Dang.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Dang. Hey, we should check the oil and coolant. Oh, by the way, we don't have a coolant yet, so we don't need it yet because we haven't warmed up this thing yet. This is our first attempt. So we're probably gonna run it for another couple minutes. I'm not sure about the tune. I'm gonna have to call in a few people and check about the tune. But I think we can run this thing for a few more minutes. I checked the fuel pressure and it was over 60 psi. That's what we want. We want a little bit of fuel pressure. I don't see any fuel leaks. I'm gonna check underneath. Don't see any leaks at all underneath, so I think we should be good. I'm gonna check oil pressure and all that stuff and call about the tune. Make sure that I'm safe to run this thing with this tune, and we'll try to run it for a few more minutes again. Let's go. Alright guys, so I spoke to a few tuners. I just made a phone call, talked to a few tuners, and they said I should be good on the stock tune as long as I keep it idle and not above 3,000 RPMs. As long as my heat temperature, my oil pressure, and my fuel pressure is regular or somewhat sustainable and with the range. As long as I'm not too lean, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. There is an air to fuel ratio inside the car. As long as I'm not too lean or too rich, I should be okay. And they gave me to go to start. So I'm gonna give it a try one more time and get this thing idle and see if we could probably put a coolant in it. Might as well. I mean, let this thing warm up and see what it does. Let's get it. Damien, let's go. Get started. Alright guys, so we idled this thing for a few minutes. Seems to be working fine, but I probably want to get this thing warmed up. So I might want to put coolant first and just make sure the whole system gets filled with coolant, make sure everything is cooled. I don't want to overheat any component, even though the engine hasn't got hot yet. I don't want to push it, so let's fill up. I mean, either way we have to fill up this coolant thing. So we'll just fill up the whole system with the coolant and let this thing warm up and, you know, reach its full temperature. But as you guys can see, this is our second startup, and it sounds, I mean, normal. It sounds really cool and like a normal Mustang, except this thing, it whines really, really loud. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not. Let's just say it's supposed to be like that. Yeah, let us keep working. Let's go. Alright guys, so I have added a coolant into a tank, pretty much topped it up. Obviously it didn't go through the whole system, so I gotta start the car again and just kind of fill this thing until it gets fully cycled through the motor and whole radiator system. So let's start this thing again and let it idle for a little bit. I'll try to keep an eye out, make sure my oil pressure and my coolant temperature don't go too high, type of thing. And we'll see what happens. Alright guys, check this out. You guys see that smoke? Right there, the line of smoke and all that? Kind of crazy. This thing is all, the garage is all filled with smoke. Good thing I don't have smoke detectors here, because that would have been on right now. But yeah, this thing just started smoking, clearing up its own stuff and kind of start heating up. So I'll let this thing cool down. I'll double check everything, make sure I don't have any lean conditions, make sure I don't have any breakage in the line, fuel lines, make sure everything is tight and solid, make sure everything is good. I mean, I don't want to risk or push any component on this thing if I don't have to. I noticed it does have a high blow by coming from that pipe. You probably guys noticed it. It's like, well, yeah, not sure what that is. I'll talk to previous owner and see if that's a normal thing for this engine or not. If he gives me any pointers, that'll be great. If he doesn't, I'll just kind of experiment with this thing. But as for right now, I'm probably gonna do a transmission fluid swap. I drained the old fluid, it was good. I just didn't trust it. Decided to, swap the fluid. If it's not gonna be too hot underneath the car, I'm gonna swap the fluids and just check everything, make sure everything's good while this thing is cooling down. If it is gonna be too hot, I'm just gonna have to call out and find something else to do. So let's get right into it. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got Royal Purple synthetic oil, Swinter Max to swap. Yes, by the way, this video is not sponsored by anybody, so if there is any company that wants to sponsor us, our hands are wide open. You can sponsor us as long as you're a good company and we can use you. Thank you. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's start swapping this stuff. Alright guys, so never mind to that. I crawl underneath the car. The coolant is dripping on me. The car is still hot, so I postponed that mission. I'm not gonna do the transmission right now. Either way, I'm not going to drive this car tonight, so let's not do that at the moment. Let this thing cool down. Also want to run my vacuum lights, make sure everything on that end is taken care of, make sure I don't have any vacuum leaks. Maybe run all the boost controls components, connect them all and all that stuff. Take care of that, make sure I don't have any leaks, inspect everything, make sure everything is tight and secure, and make sure there's no wires touching. Just a whole bunch of checkups. Simple stuff, but I gotta do this off the camera because there's too many little things and your camera will be all over this place. But I'm probably gonna wrap this episode on this note. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for a next video. I'm gonna do a little small little videos here and there where I'm gonna do a little components as far as suspension and other things, and probably just start assembling the whole front end and trying to get this thing ready for a dyno or paint job. Not sure which one is gonna come first, but we'll decide that on the next probably episode. Also stay tuned for a Tesla build. I am receiving a few components that probably will speed up the process. It took a little longer than it should have, but stay tuned for that. It's gonna probably come up next week or so, depending on the schedule and everything. But stay tuned for that. Check out that video. It should be pretty cool because we'll see from this point on, we'll see what's going on with that Tesla and if we're gonna be able to repair or not, really. Realistically speaking, that's the process on it. Stay tuned for that. Like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!